In this video, we'll be adding proper level transitions to our platformer, including switching background music between scenes. We're going to build a system that lets you load new levels when the player reaches an exit. We'll update our AudioManager to automatically switch music based on the current level. So we already have a level 2, right? We have our test level 1, then we have our test level 2, right? What we do need to do real quick while it's on my mind is let's go ahead and make our AudioManager a prefab. That is not the prefabs folder. That's the prefabs folder. Let me silence my phone. Alright. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is add our levels to our build settings. So let's go to File. We're going to go to Build Profiles. And what we're going to be looking for is, see this scene list right here? We're going to press Open Scene List, and we're going to add some scenes to it, okay? Now, I believe we can still, just like before, just drag scenes over here. Yep, we sure can. We don't need that one, so let's uncheck Sample Scene. We're going to drag in Test Level 2. You can also press Add Open Scene if you're on a particular scene. You just want to add it real quick. Alright. Alright, so we're going to make sure that, yep, everything's good on there. We're not going to worry about the player settings for right now. So we can close that out, and if we go back, we should see them now in our scenes list right there. Okay. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is create a level exit trigger. So in our level 1, what we're going to do is right click, create an empty object, name it level exit. We're going to go ahead and zero that guy out. We're going to add a box collider 2D. To it. We're also going to, now I'm going to drag the whole thing back over here. Now in some cases you may want to have a sprite or something as a visual indicator. I already built that into this level 1, this little like door thing. What I am going to do though is I'm going to extend out this collider, that way the player can't jump over it. And I'm just going to kind of fit it to the width of the door. It's not going to be visible in game, so it's not going to be like an ice or anything. We are going to want to set it to trigger though. And now we're going to get to coding. So right click, create mono behavior script. We're going to name this level exit. And let's go ahead and just add it to our level exit script or object. Open it up by double clicking. We are going to need to add using Unity Engine scene management up at the top. We are going to need some variables, so let's go ahead. We're going to add public string next scene name, and it's going to be called let's see, test level 2. You always, if you're going to use the string of the names, want to make sure that the name is typed out exactly as you have it. And then for right now we can get rid of these guys, and what we're going to do is private void on trigger enter 2D. If other.compare tag is equal to the player. Whoops. There we go. Then we're going to go scene manager dot load scene. It's gonna be new scene name. And did I spell it wrong? I put new and it should be next. There we go. Alright. Then we can save that and close that out to test it out. Let's see. Pretty sure that should work. Just basic, in the most basic form. So gotta fix that as well. The enemies, when they drop the items, should imagine making a level that you can't beat. Alright, got a little too greedy there. Alright, so I did see one potential problem that will fix. No. Alright, I'm just gonna kind of cheat and move my player over there. Let's see. Because I didn't put any of those checkpoints in here. I do gotta add that kill box too. Maybe we'll do that in this video. We'll see how long this one gets. Alright, so there we go. That works. Alright, so now that we know that that works, now we can start setting up the background music. Alright, so we already have in our, where is it, AudioManager script, the level 2, okay? But now we need to switch to the music, okay? So down here in our AudioManager music, what we need to do is we're gonna add a few new things. Alright, well first let's go ahead and add, because we're gonna need Unity scene management in this for this part to work. Now, on-scene loaded is going to be a function that we're going to create, so don't worry about that for right now, because we're going to create that right now. So we're adding some switches. Okay, so if it's test level, I'm pretty sure that's what I called it. Yeah, test level. All right. Then play music. BGM level 1. And then our second case is going to be test level 2. Play music. Oops. BGM level 2. Oops, not return. We want break. by default, play music will be null. So if there's nothing going on, then that's what it's going to do, right? So that'll allow us to stop the music, or we can just add background music level 1 as a default music for right now, right? The other thing we're going to need up here is a private void on disable function. There's going to be a scene. Well, what happened there? Alright, let's try this again. Alright, scene manager dot scene loaded minus equals on scene load. Whoops. On scene loaded. There we go. This is going to ensure that whenever a scene is loaded, the AudioManager switches music accordingly. Alright, so let's see. There we go. And now it switches. Alright. So what we can do from there is we have our level exit here. All we have to do is we can just drag this as a prefab, and then you can reuse it and change just the level name of where it needs to go, right? So if I wanted to, after I save this, let's go to level 2, and in level 2, what we can do is put this guy in there. Don't know where it went. There it is. Alright. And we'll just put it over here for now and hope that I can beat the level. Alright. Just get rid of this right there, and hopefully this doesn't create anything weird. Alright, so starting from level 2 it doesn't work, right? But that's because level 1 is our first level. So let's go back to level 1, play. There we go, see? So that works out just fine. We could do things like adding a transition. Real quick, what I do want to do is add a kill box. So what we're going to do is we're just going to create an empty game object, and we're going to call it kill box. We're going to add a box collider 2D. Go ahead and zero it out for this, and what we're going to do is say we're going to create a new script. Create mono behavior. We're going to call it killbox. Add it, make it a prefab, that way we can reuse it, and open it up. Now in our, let's see, where is it? What we need to do is we can come over here, just delete all those. It's gonna be very simple. On let's see, private void on trigger enter 2D. What we should be able to do is say, where is it? Is it in our health manager? Alright, what we should be able to do is just take this player control player, find any object player control. If player does not equal null, player die, and that should work, and we'll test it out. Very easy, which is why I wanted to kind of decided I'm just going to do it in this video. But in order to make sure, we got to test it out. So let's go ahead and bring this guy down here. It's going to be in this area right here. So let's go ahead and drag this out right there. I should be able to just do it all the way right there, and that should be fine. All right, now let's go jump off the. Oh yeah, I forgot I started. I started all the way over there because I couldn't beat my own level. Imagine. Alright, so I'm on top of it because I forgot to turn it into a trigger. So let's do that. And there we go, that worked. Alright, so the kill box works. Let's make sure it's a trigger. Apply the changes there and give it one more test. Bam. Alright, so that works. Now, something else we can try to do is let's go ahead and let's go ahead and try to create a fade transition. Alright, so what we're going to do is we already have our UI, but what we can do is add an image to it. So let's right click, create, let's see, we want UI, we're going to go to image, right? And we're just going to name this fade. Alright, we're gonna make it so that it stretches to fill the screen. Alright, so very good stretching. Alright, so probably gonna have to increase the size manually, and that's fine. So oops, position, that's not what I want. The screen, which is perfect. We're going to change the color to black, and don't even need it to be that big. Let's go 6. All right. Let's see. We're going to set the alpha of it down to 0. That way it's not seen. And then we're going to create a script. So create mono behavior. We're going to call this screen fader. And then open it up. Now in our screen fader CS script, what we're going to be using, we got to use a few things. Using Unity engine scene management, using Unity engine UI, using system collections, because we're going to need that as well. We're going to need a few variables: public image, fade image, public float, fade duration. Alright, in our start menu, we're going to say fade image dot CrossFadeAlpha, and this just ensures that it starts transparent. We've already set it to transparent, but this is just like a nice to have to just like cover our bases. And then public void, we're going to create a function called fade to scene. we're going to pass the scene name. We're going to say start. We're going to create a coroutine that, and it's going to be called fade and load. And we're going to be passing scene name. Alright, now, in order for this to work, we need to have an IE enumerator. That's going to be called fade and load. And this is going to be the last video for today because these dogs are getting loud. So, but for fade image dot CrossFadeAlpha, we're going to set it to 1. We're going to fade according to the duration that we set. In this case, it's 1 frame. Set it to true. That's going to cause it to fade to black, so fade to black. Alright, and we need to yield return new wait for seconds, fade duration, scene manager dot load scene, and then scene pass the scene name. Alright, now that that's all done, we do got to do a few things to the level exit to make that work. So our level exit, what we're going to do is add a private bool, call it triggered. Now, in our on trigger enter 2D, we're going to go ahead and get rid of this line right here. And we're going to type in if triggered, or that's what those two pipes mean, not other dot compare tag player return and then pass triggered is equal to true. And what we're going to do is we're going to access the screen fader. Let's see. It doesn't like that, so by type. Hold on. Alright, we can do this. We're gonna find object. No, we want find first object by type. That's what we want. Alright. Alright, and then if fader is not equal to null, then fader dot we're gonna do fade to scene, and we're gonna next scene name it. Else and we're gonna have a fallback just in case the fader's not found, like we forget to put it in or something happens and we delete it. I don't know. Weird things happen in game development, but this will be a fallback for us. Alright. So now let's test it out and see if I can beat my own level. Yeah. Still gotta fix that where the sound plays when I pick it up. And it didn't do the fade for some reason. Oh, you know why it didn't do the fade? Because we didn't add it. So we need to add an empty game object, and we'll just name this screen fader. And we need to add our screen fader to it. There you go. And our fade image to that. Now let's try it. So at least we know the backup works. Alright, so it still didn't fade, but it switched the level. So why didn't it fade? That's a good question. But I'm not gonna want to keep beating the level just every time it doesn't fade. So let's go over here. Grab our player. Set it right there. Alright, so this code isn't working for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but I do know one thing I forgot is I need to add this source image. For the source image, I'm just going to do something simple. This right here will work just fine. Leave it simple. Make sure your raycast target is off. And then I gotta figure out why it's not working. It doesn't like that code. So let me try this. I'm gonna get rid of this right here and say if other.compare tag. So it's not broke. Don't try to fix it, right? So we'll do the old tried and true comparing the tag, and then we're gonna put all this in there. So select it all, cut and paste. And now get it saved, let it compile. Level exit that triggered is assigned but never used. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go ahead and just comment that out for now. There we go. Let's see what happens. Still no fading. Alright. So the issue probably isn't with that one. That means the issue's here. And it probably doesn't like a lot of it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start over on this, and I apologize because it's already like 29 minutes, but I appreciate your patience. If you guys want, and it's easier for y'all, I will try to break this up into 2 videos. But let's go ahead and, for right now, let's just set the alpha to 0, and that's going to be a function that I'm going to create. So, and that's going to make sure that it's going to start transparent. So let's go ahead and create that function first. All right. So private void set alpha. It's going to be float type alpha. There we go. Color equals fade image. Oops. Dot color. Let's say the color dot alpha if I could spell color right, equals alpha. Fade image dot color is going to equal the color. Alright, so there's that one. And I don't know how to spell alpha either, so there we go. Alright, now what I need to do is figure out the in between. I think I'm still gonna have the coroutine fade and load, so I probably shouldn't have deleted that. So I numerator fade and load string scene name. We're gonna yield return. We're gonna start. No. What do I want to do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break it up. So don't worry about that for right now. Whoops. Let's start a different one. Alright. Private IE numerator. And we're gonna call this fade. And this is gonna, I think it's just, maybe it's trying to do too much at once in one thing. I don't know. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a start and an end alpha. In this coroutine float elapsed. We're going to pass elapsed, which is going to be equal to 0f. We're going to access the color. It's going to be equal to the fade image dot color. And we're going to say while elapsed, we're going to do a thing. So that thing while elapsed is less than the fade duration. We're going to do a thing. That thing is plus equals time dot delta time. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. It's a lot of math stuff. Maybe I'll make a video, separate video, explaining everything. Well, this is supposed to be an explainer video, but we're already at 32 minutes. I'm trying to be respectful of your guys' time. So, but we're gonna pass math.lerp after clamping the values of elapsed and the fade duration. We're gonna go start alpha and pass the end alpha, and it's being passed by t, which is going to be the overall time, right? And then alright, there we go. So there's that. What else should I probably add to this? Probably the snap to the final alpha value, right? So this is gonna be final alpha. Hopefully. There we go. Alright, so now that we have that one, we're going to actually in here pass that start coroutine fade. And you're not liking it because I need to pass some values in. So we're going to go, you're going to start at 0 and you're going to end at 1. And you're going to like it. Then we're going to load the scene. So scene manager dot load scene. And we're gonna pass the scene name. Actually, yeah, that works. All right, then we're gonna public void fade to scene. Pass it. String called scene name. And we're just gonna run this coroutine. Fade and load. Scene name. There we go. And save. And hope it works because we're already at just about 36 minutes. Haha, success. Alright, it won't work on here because I don't have all that in here, but that does work. So make sure you have your scene fader on an empty game object, right? And you have that in there. Real quick, let's go ahead and apply our changes. Our scene fader can go ahead and become a prefab because we're going to probably reuse that. That is not the prefab. Whoops. Let's go ahead and delete that from there. And let's go into our prefabs folder and try that again. There we go. Alright. So, there we go. Now we have it. Save everything. If you have questions, my email is always on the YouTube. So shoot me an email. Put in the comments. Let me know. I apologize. This one was not meant to be 36 minutes. Really thought I had a quick, easy fade to scene there that I wanted to try, and that did not work. So this one ended up being a little more complicated and in depth. Keep learning, keep building. I'll see you in the next one.